Absolutely, and you still maintain two great offices. One
We
for
do.
the Georgetown, Williamsburg area. I saw actually named after Dick Rosen and his wife's mother, which
That's
was
right.
great. I saw that last
Emma
night.
Rosen. The Georgetown Service Center is named for Mrs. Emma Rosen.
Right, right.
And,
So you're still maintaining the two offices, the one in Georgetown and obviously the one in Horry County on the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base.
That's correct.
Which is an exciting opportunity for folks in Horry and Georgetown to know if they need to find a place that they can go volunteer. If they can't drive all the way to Myrtle Beach on a regular basis, I'm sure they could go help out over there, to be in the office to call for donations or otherwise. Do you all actually have a local volunteer board of directors, Angela, or is it? I know you talked about volunteers drive the mission.
Yes. Yes, we are operated by a board of directors. We can have up to 40 board members.
4-0.
It's a big board. Right now we have about 32 members on our board.
Is that right?
So we do have some room if there are individuals that are interested in serving with the Red Cross.
Mm-hmm.
And John Trudeau is our chapter board chair.
Oh, great. We love John.
So he has been a really good leader and led us through the merger and the changes that we've gone through. So we really rely on our board of directors to guide us in the right direction and make sure that we stay on track.
Absolutely. And you all are also partnered with the United Way locally.
Yes, we are a United Way community partner agency. Right. We receive annual United Way funding, which helps us survive and provide the services that we need.
Mm-hmm. So some of those dollars clearly reinvested back in the community.
Absolutely.
Those dollars that are raised locally reinvested back in groups like the American Red Cross and others. And of course, to know that even as a United Way partner, there's still dramatic needs locally, and the donations will help enable you all to support the families that are victims of fires. Did you say 205 fires hitting in 2006?
That's correct.
That's incredible in the 3 counties.
Right, and we provided over $112,000 in assistance for those fires.
Mm-hmm.
So it adds up quickly. Back last fall, we, the local media, as you know, you were a part of, helped raise funds for the United Way Fire Victims Fund, and
Right.
we raised about $20,000 to $21,000. Within 3 months, that money was used already.
Wow.
To provide assistance for fire families. So it goes very quickly, and like you said, there's just a constant need to replenish those funds so that we can be sure that we have assistance there when the people need it.
Mm-hmm. Share with viewers, other than the service, which would be a full-time job or full-time activity for virtually any group of providing for fire families, what are some of the other, and of course we talked about blood donation, what are some of the other activities going on in the Coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross?
Well, as you're familiar with, because you've assisted us wonderfully with some of the CPR and first aid equipment,
Oh, yeah.
is that we do have the health and safety life training program where we can assist individuals or businesses with training their employees, and even families need this assistance to take CPR and first aid. We have bloodborne pathogens training, babysitter training for the young teens that want to learn how to babysit and know how to deal with infants or children if they get in distress. Lifeguard and swimming is huge here on the coast, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And we have so many wonderful stories where people have used those skills, and it's made such a difference in their family or in their business and saving lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one aspect. And then, of course, historically, the Red Cross has always worked with military. So we are the agency. If you have family in Iraq, you have an emergency that you need information to get to your loved one, you would go through the Red Cross. We get directly in touch with the superiors in the military, and we can help arrange to bring those people home for a funeral or a dire emergency.
Oh, yeah.
So that immediate emergency military communications. And also providing loans to military personnel who get in distress. We do get reimbursed for that from military, but it allows the individual to come to the Red Cross, and if they qualify, they would get immediate money for an emergency that they're having.
That's tremendous.
And sometimes that involves, if there has been a death in another state and they need to get on an airplane right away, but they don't have the funds to do that. So we do that, and we also provide a lot of referrals to the other nonprofit agencies in the area. If you have a situation that we can't assist you with, if it's not a part of the Red Cross mission, then we will help you find that assistance elsewhere. And then the education, as I talked about, planning ahead,
How
helping
do you do it
people.
all, Angela? You're still got more things coming out of what you all do. This is incredible.
Well, we are constantly educating our staff and our volunteers, and we just have to rely on a lot of volunteer assistance.
Yes, volunteers, the big V.
It is.
You all also, and I didn't mean to cut you off to get you distracted on that. I couldn't believe you'd have more coming out. You were about to say the Christmas Day dinner and the other big events that you all put on. Of course,
Right.
we've had Janice Ash Saliano with us. Mel Tillard been with us. John's been with us in the past. You've had a tremendous cadre of folks coming in, board members or volunteers. But to hear Janice talk about the annual Christmas Day dinner that she's been involved with for a long time.
18 years.
Is that right? Golly. Yeah.
So that's another thing. We raise about $10,000 each year to provide that Christmas Day dinner for the individuals who might not have a Christmas Day dinner, or
Right.
individuals who might be at home alone or shut-ins.
Oh, yeah.
And so this year we served over 3,000 meals.
Did you really at First Presbyterian Church and at Blaine Methodist, United
Right.
Methodist Church, those
And then-
two locations?
Those two locations plus the deliveries that we
Plus the
arranged.
deliveries.
So-
You've got the great services of the Myrtle Beach Convention Center, the Mark Rubicki and
Yes.
and the crew there at, I can't remember the name of the group, but their catering division really goes out, opens up the kitchen there to make that happen for you all.
Right, the Sheraton Myrtle Beach Convention Hotel, I'll
Right,
get that
right,
name right.
yeah.
They were very generous
Oh, yeah.
every year in allowing us to use that kitchen. And Mark has been, I think he's been the chef that has prepared the food for over 10 years now.
Is that right? Golly.
So it's a tremendous effort, and again, relying on a couple of hundred volunteers that come in and pitch in and make all that happen every year.
Angela, we just got a couple of minutes. You think about that impact for families when you stress what they're going through. And I know it's probably a very powerful emotional thing for the volunteers that arrive on the scene, or for the firefighters
It is.
and the paramedics and others that arrive immediately. It's probably a very emotional thing that people would have difficulty imagining. Are there a couple of words or anything you could share with viewers to help drive home the need for donations? And
Well, I can just share the first thing that impacted me after I began working as executive director, and a couple came into the lobby of our office, and they were sitting out there, and I got up and went out because I smelled this. I smelled smoke. And I went out and realized it was a family that had had a home fire, and all they'd gotten out with was the clothes that they had on, and they were just covered in smoke. And it just really drove home to me what happens, how devastating it is to a family. That they could hardly even speak. They're so devastated. So unless you've been there and seen that, you just don't realize how important it is to help these individuals get back on their feet again. It's heartbreaking.
I can't imagine. Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of viewers couldn't imagine that as well. And that's probably why it's so critical to get folks into the office, to give them the experience. And of course, I think you said Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. They're truly volunteer needs. And you just never know when you'd bump into somebody, or the need would be there for someone to be out on the scene to help those families.
And if I could just make one correction, I said something wrong a few minutes ago. Our Georgetown Service Center is the Irma L. Rosen.
Irma, not Emma.
Right,
That's right.
I said that name wrong, and I apologize.
No,
But,
that's fine.
The
And I-
Rosens have been wonderful supporters, and that chapter, that service center down there is so fabulous because, as you know, we expanded that territory into Williamsburg County, and it really helps to be able to have staff and volunteers in all of our area, all our coverage areas.
Oh, yes, very definitely. You highlighted so many of those aspects, whether it's the health and safety skills training, the disaster response to not only fires, but to hurricanes, to tornadoes, to any number of things. In these three
Flooding.
gigantic counties covering 3,000 square miles, dollars have to come in to help make that happen, not just from the United Way, particularly when you're chartered by Congress to be available and made to happen, but not getting dollars from the American government. There's a real need to keep the flow coming in, whatever it is. You'll take donations, I assume, of any level.
Oh, absolutely. And, I've had individuals say before, we're just so thankful that we have a Red Cross chapter in our community.
Right.
Some people have lived in areas where they didn't have a chapter right in their immediate community, and they could feel the difference.
Oh, yeah.
So we're certainly reaching out and trying to make sure that we have services in every nook and cranny of America, and that's the goal of Red Cross, that we're focusing highly on that.
Those are great words. Angela, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina Peak with Angela Nicholas coming up next.
Join the fight against heart disease and stroke as Understanding Corporation presents the 13th annual Waccamaw Area Heart Ball. It's a sparkling black tie gala that features a reception, live and silent auction, and gourmet dining. Then, dance the night away with entertainment by Jumpstart. It all takes place on Saturday, February 17th in the Kensington Ballroom at Kingston Plantation. Call now to reserve your seat at the 13th Annual Waccamaw Area Heart Ball.
Wish you could have heard Angela off camera as she was saying if people could see the children coming in after fires, devastated, it's heartbreaking. It's words like that. We can't put it into words. It's disasters, not only like fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, they're happening all the time. We may not be obliterated by a hurricane anytime soon, but the families that are impacted by a fire, their lives are obliterated. Donations need to come in. The American Red Cross needs them. Lots of organizations need them. For the American Red Cross, more than 15 fires last month, the month of January, in Horry, Georgetown, and Williamsburg counties. The donations need to come in. Please think of the American Red Cross when you're thinking of stepping out and reaching deep. 843-477-0020, coastalscarc.org, or 2795 Pampas Drive in Myrtle Beach, 29577. Give them a call, send them a letter, go online, find a way to dig deep and support the American Red Cross.